about, Matt, and this for me sort of sold me that how good this game will be on an experience level. There was a part somebody was playing, Matt, on his first hour, and he said he went past one of the sort of the other characters that was just hanging out at the top of a hill, and he was a little bit of a freaky guy because he kept going on about wanting to kill people around him, and they couldn't work him out, he said, if he was just saying it or whatever else. But he said half hour later he came up to like an abandoned kind of like little house type thing, like made out of wood in the middle of nowhere, and it had all these kind of crazy imageries on the wall where this kind of and he said it wasn't it wasn't to the fact where it kind of completely linked him with the character he'd met before. However, it made you as a player think, could this be that guy that I was just talking to like half hour ago somewhere, and he was coming out with all this weird nonsense? Has he been here? Has he done stuff in here? There's a mutilated body and stuff like that. Is this he's doing? But what I liked about it is it kind of was making you think as a player, like, who the hell have I just spoken to? And that reacting differently to things could be maybe as far as the non-narrative story, another extra layer to this. How in depth do you think that's going to go, Matt, in terms of our experience of this game? And how important will it be, or will it not be so important because it is what it is already?
Well, I think based on what you said, the groundwork is being laid there, and I'm not going to say there's going to be a full-on system that will affect every little outcome in this, because that would be too optimistic. But I'm hoping that that it will be a good start, because this is one of the things that makes games, in my opinion, better than movies. Because so many times you go see a movie and you'll see a scene and it didn't play out the way that you would have done it. You think, well, why did the character do this, or why did they do that? But in a game, they allow you to make those decisions, to do things your way. And it's like a tailor-made experience just for you. You don't have to read off a script and do everything to the letter. You can go out and make your own path, and I feel like that's a much more personal experience when you're playing these games. So we saw a bit of that in the last GTA game as well. Like, people could have different endings based on the decisions you made towards the end, and that was a good touch to the game. So I think that got a positive vibe from the people there. So I feel like now they're going one step further with this.
Yeah, no, that's going to be cool. That should tell everybody how good those things are going to be on choices. Also, our little things here. So this is good. Arthur physically moves dead bodies and reaches into their pockets to loot them. So it's not like before where you just walk over a corpse and it's just automatically uploaded into you, and you get their money just like cha-ching, and you get their weapons just by walking over them. You're literally going to see him go into the pocket, take out the stuff. So I don't know how time consuming that'll all be. I don't know how quick that's going to be. That'll probably bug some people, but for me, I like that. I'm kind of fully for it. It doesn't really bother me, to be honest. I know some people are like, just hurry up already. Just I just want to walk over them and I've got it. It's done. But I quite like the fact that they've put that in, because again, with all this detail, it would be kind of silly to have anything left out like that now. To be honest with you, that would make it not really justify everything else they've done. So I think you've got to put that in, really. So here we go again, some other stuff here. So moving your cursor around the world map invokes a wind sound to indicate your movement. So that's quite interesting on that side of things with the map. You can shoot a horse to knock an enemy off its back. Not sure why that's written in, but I think that kind of sort of thing we knew. Maybe some people thought, no, you can't kill a horse. Not in this game. That's not going to happen. You can kill these animals, but not a horse. No, that can happen. Thanks to the fact that the game is set before a time... Oh, this is exactly what you were talking about, Matt. You were talking about light pollution become an issue. The sky is riddled with stars, clusters of stars. It looks like a genuine array of galaxies when you look up at night. So that's going to be pretty spectacular, I'd imagine. should be cool. Also, it's saying that your camp runs on a schedule. In the morning, your gang members might walk out of their tents in their long johns. People will sleep all night and gather around you when food calls. So that's quite interesting. And again, I'm kind of pleased that everybody in this game has duties, has like a routine, has a schedule, which is what you want. And it's down to even little things like, again, I'd read somewhere where someone had played the first hour and he said that like he walked past some guy who was like building on top of his house, and then like literally by a couple of hours, like, well, not a couple of hours, but like by the next time he'd gone past, you could see there had been work done to add to it. So with the time, which is kind of like, again, it's a small detail. Not everyone's even going to look at that, but for people like me, I mean, I'm fully for that, and I think, wow, that's actually spectacular. That's what I want to see. That will go to show you the level of detail, and I'm hoping that that's going to be a common thing in this game, that like not only is it that there's going to be progress with certain things and people's whatever they're doing, whatever their duties are and routine, that they'll add to it. So that should be cool. Also, just like with strangers you meet around the world, you can antagonise your own crew members at the camp. But if you do, other camp members will take notice and comment on it in the near future. So you have to be a bit careful. So I think, we was talking about that sort of consequences to your actions, Matt. I think that, you're going to get that in the open world to a degree. However, I think within the camp and the gang members, I think that's going to be where it really counts the most, from what I've been reading here, because they might not pick up on it at first, but if you say something a bit like that somebody doesn't agree with in the camp, later on down the line, they're probably going to pick you up on it. So I quite like the idea of that, and I'm kind of happy that is to the level they're going to be at, because in a game like this, you don't kind of expect that as much, but the fact they're putting it in is going to just add, like I say, more layers. So that should be interesting going forward. And see how they get around that. Now, Matt, before we come to a conclusion on this, what has been a very long experience podcast thus far, I'm going to just throw it out there, Matt. Obviously, how excited are you? I mean, what is, in terms of this game release, what was the last big game that you were looking forward to and played as far as the anticipation goes? I mean, the last sort of thing you played, we both played Detroit Become Human. I know that we both enjoyed that quite a lot this year. I've played games like God of War. I wasn't overly keen on, I've got to say. And there have been a few games this year that have pushed the envelope a bit and gone in some sort of weird ways. And then there's been games that have been quite innovative. But for me, the last big game release, as I said at the top of the podcast, was probably Zelda Breath of the Wild. But this is coming in now, and of course this is the one I'm most anticipating. I've been anticipating this for a long time. But for you, Matt, how big is this for you? Is this sort of like always going to be a get for you, or had you been waiting to see some of the reviews and early trailers of the gameplay stuff? Like, how big are you for this at the minute, and how sort of buzzing are you for this game, or are you just going to wait and kind of see?
Oh no, I'm definitely very excited. And you only get that vibe with certain games, really. I know there's blockbuster games that come out every year, and sometimes they're just another edition in the series. But games like Red Dead, they make you wait a long time, and the anticipation is high before you get to that point. And they've been spending all this time that they haven't released a game, just working on it, making it better, making sure every little detail is perfect. And I feel like I haven't really been this kind of ready for a game since something like The Witcher came out, because you just heard so much about it, and you knew how much detail the development crew were putting into this game, and the love that was going into it, and just the amount of detail. I mean, I just love the amount of hard work these people actually put into their games, because they really do care. And I feel like you just know that they're the AAA publishers when they actually put that much effort. And I'm not going to knock the other ones. It's just there's a real tiered level here, and Rockstar are just one of the people that work at the very highest level. So you know that when a game comes out by these people, it's just another step in evolution for video games.
Yeah, no, totally. And when you talk about the amount of effort put into this, I mean, I think I read somewhere over 700 voice actors, Matt, for this Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, what the heck? That is staggering. Like, it broke records apparently in New York when they had everybody do this. And one of the things I was reading, I was really happy about this as well, is they really got their money's worth here with these actors, because in all the hours they had with them, they not only made them say the lines once, they had them do it like 2 or even 3 times, because obviously if you're on horseback, you're going to be shouting the line. If you're in a bar, you might say it differently. So they really, really went to town on these voice actors and, you know, made everything very unique. I don't think I've ever read or heard anything quite as extravagant as that in terms of voice actors for a game, a video game of any sort. What about you, Matt, and like the idea of there's that many?
Yeah, it's just a crazy amount there, and it's unbelievable just like how much time that must take to capture all that. But you know, I think it's good that they're all relatively unknown kind of people that aren't big names in voice acting, because it's that more realistic feel we've been talking all the way through it. You want these kind of voices that you don't go, oh, I know that person, I've heard them doing this before. You just want to lose yourself in this game, not actually think, oh, you know, you don't associate a character with someone that you've played in another game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're talking about characters though. I think that is it just me, or does like Arthur Morgan have a striking resemblance to Michael Madsen? I'm like, I'm going to play this game thinking I'm playing as this guy.
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, when I saw him first, I was like, I wasn't too keen on the look. I don't know what it was, but then over time, like, I really like the voice. I think they really got a decent voice actor for this guy, especially when he reads the lines through the trailers about the fire and stuff. I think like it's kind of gritty. It's kind of what you want. I mean, John Marston, the voice of him was excellent as well. But and it was always going to be hard to outdo that. But I think they've done that in a way with this guy. But yeah, the look of him certainly is. Yeah, he has got that sort of striking resemblance of him as well, hasn't he, Michael Madsen? But yeah, but now, you know, over time, I've now kind of like, I'm really looking forward to playing this guy as the character, and I think like, you know, everything in the gang and his influence over them and stuff like that should be quite interesting to see what kind of character he is, because obviously, you know, there is a part to it where the narrative is going to make, you know, you're going to see things come out of him no matter how you play it. So that should be interesting, you know, just to see that. But yeah, definitely does have that striking resemblance for sure when you say it like that. Okay, so just to add now then to the last little features here, because we're literally at the end of the show. So I was saying about the camp running on a schedule, and the whole strangers thing, you know, that they'll kind of go out in the crew. So other things that have been, you know, really reported on and documented in this game, not only like the amount of voice actors they have coming into this, is a staggering amount of people. Like, just, I mean, when you've got that many people doing lines, like Matt said, I don't know. Can you imagine being the person who's organising that lot? All the scripts and everything. Crikey, what a job that must be in itself, let alone putting it all in the game and mastering that. But I think it goes to show you, like, you know, just to think about it just for a second, 700, that automatically gives you, and there's probably people that can do different voices easily, but you've got a guaranteed 700 unique voices in that game. I mean, that's staggering, and I think that should go to show you how big this world could be. Right there, that's just amazing. And you know, like Matt said, I like the fact that none of the voice actors are like well-known people or actors. Rockstar have never done that in their games either. They've always never. They've